Okay, I have a low battery. I have plenty of memory, but I have a low battery, so I'm gonna be a little short and sweet as opposed to ramble on for an hour and a half. The NRA just posted on Facebook that the Northern Mariana Islands are again in violation of the Second Amendment. Northern Mariana Islands. What the fuck are they? Okay. I had to look it up myself. World War II. Battle of Saipan, Battle of Iwo Jima, Battle of... Okay. Well, a lot of islands out there. I don't know all of them, so don't ask me. But a lot of the islands that our grandfathers and great uncles fought for. I had a great uncle by marriage. I had two great uncles in the Pacific during World War II. One was Marine Corps, one was Army. One on each side of the family. The others were my uncles, my grandfather, they were all in European theater. But a lot of the islands in the Pacific theater during the war were claimed by the United States. And sometimes the United States has a military base there. Wake Island, the Alamo of the Pacific. Okay, so they have, yeah. But there are people on these islands that are American citizens, because those are American colonies, just like Puerto Rico is an American colony. They're not exactly states, they're colonies, and they're all the way the fuck out, closer to Japan than the U.S., obviously, but they are American colonies. And every single person there born after the United States annexed it is an American citizen by birth. And the other guys that were there before they were American citizens, American colonies, well, they probably caught up now, okay? But they are Americans, okay? It's just like if you were British, if you lived in Jamaica 50 years ago, you're British. Because 50 years ago, Jamaica was a British island. Now it's independent, whatever. But these are American islands, and every person on these islands is an American citizen. And they said we want to buy handguns for self-defense. Wait a minute. That was already decided in 2008. Okay. So they went to federal court. And a federal judge who is primarily liberal ruled that the islands were in direct defiance of the Second Amendment, because according to the Supreme Court, Heller and McDonald, all U.S. citizens have a right to own a handgun for the purpose of at least home defense on American soil. If you're an American citizen living in Britain, you don't have that right. If you're an American citizen living in fucking Hong Kong, but as long as you are an American citizen living on American soil, it doesn't matter where that soil is. Whether that soil is on the mainland, or the islands, or the colonies, or whatever. As long as your land is American territory, you are a U.S. citizen, you have a right to buy a handgun. And we see in D.C. and Chicago, they tried as hard as they could to put up barriers. Okay, like you want to buy a handgun, do this, and this. You want to buy a handgun, select one from this list. You want to buy a handgun, get a license, do this, take fingerprints, do that, have this shipped in here, do that, okay? Read Emily Miller's book, Emily Gets Her Gun. Okay? And you see how Emily does it in D.C. And read Otis McDonald's book about how he did it in Chicago. Emily Miller's book is about D.C. getting a handgun after the ban. Otis McDonald, God rest his soul, his book is about the court case that led up to abolishing the ban. Okay, I show their books on my channel before. Okay. And then the government of the islands passed the special... Hold on, I gotta look it up. My pen is broken. Special Act for Firearms Enforcement. I usually print it out, but my print is broken. Special Act for Firearms Enforcement, or SAFE Act. I don't know where they got that from. But anyway, it says no assault weapons, no large capacity magazines, no carrying, no concealed licenses. They are no issue. Don't even ask. Special designated gun-free zones. And if you want to buy a handgun, now you're allowed to buy a handgun, but here's the problem. Every handgun you buy has a $1,000 tax attached to it. Okay? Do you know how Barry and Eric, and in later videos, Chad and Eric, were talking about the tax stamp was $200, and in 1934, $200 was like 3 months' pay? Okay. Well, that is their version of the tax stamp. They're putting a tax stamp on all handguns in the Mariana Islands, basically. I don't know how they call it. I don't know if they gotta, but one way or another, if you want to buy a handgun in the islands, you have to pay $1,000 tax. Well, how many guys can afford $1,000 per handgun? You might have some really, really rich guy that makes, $400,000 a year, who doesn't politically connected, and he might buy a really, really, really nice high-end Wilson Combat with all the shit in it for 10 grand. He don't care if he's got to pay another grand for the tax. He don't give a shit. But the average Joe Blow nobody like me and you, $1,000 per handgun, even if you say, okay, I'm going to buy one handgun for home defense. One handgun only. I'm going to buy a Glock 19. Okay? Glock 19, reasonable price, under $600. About $500, give or take-ish. Okay? Glock 19. Now you got to pay $1,000 for it. Well, for $1,000, you could buy 2 Glocks. Okay? So you're paying $500 for a Glock 19, plus $1,000 for the tax. Okay? So now what are they going to do? Okay, here's the issue. They have to get their lawyers back, and they have to go back to federal court, and they have to file a new complaint all over again from square one. And that complaint has to go through the same exact processes that this complaint went through. And they have to contest the fees. New York City tried to contest the fees for $340 for handgun license, $140 for long gun license every 3 years. And guess what? That was upheld as constitutional. So if you live in New York City and you got to pay $340 every 3 years for a handgun license, the court said that's okay. So the government, and they knew the word SAFE Act, they knew where that came from, right? They're not fucking stupid. So they're hoping that the courts in the Mariana Islands uphold the tax. And if they uphold the tax, they got to pay $1,000 per handgun, which means you're going to have one handgun per household, but they're going to have to pitch their pennies for a couple of weeks, a couple of months to get $1,000. Because let's face it, when you got to pay rent, car, food, gas, groceries, okay, $1,000 is a lot of money for average guys. Okay, it's not like $1,000. You know, my Colt Custom this is $1,200. Okay, whatever. Okay. But for someone to pay $1,000 on a tax, that's a lot of money. Okay, and that was inspired by. Hold on a minute. That was inspired by the tax stamp and by New York City laws. And now they gotta go and do it all over again. Think about it. That's how it goes. Okay, I got the door. Thank you. Bye.